First off, with escalating attacks and Israeli incursions, how realistic is the Lebanese ceasefire agreement's longevity?
Good evening to you and to your viewers. It seems that the agreements that were reached regarding a ceasefire in Beirut in the south of Lebanon, there is like 60 days have been put as a trial period, and to see how both sides will be committed to ceasefire. The Israeli forces, since the first day of the ceasefire, started by preventing the people from coming back to the villages that the Israelis occupied. It is 700 to 800 square kilometers on the border line between Sheba and Natura. This is first, and Israel is shooting whomever is trying to return to his hometown or to move within that region and within these villages that Israel announced as a no-go zone for the people, and this is the place where the Israeli forces are still occupying. On the other side, till now, Israel has made 3 targeting operations, which claims to be one on Bisariya near Sidon, which is on the north of the Litani River. They said they attacked an ammunition and missiles warehouse for Hezbollah, exploding it. And today, Israel had another targeting of some elements, and Israel gave a video of some elements who were filling a car with ammunition and some weapons as well. So Israel bombarded that car in that area. Maybe yesterday evening or the day or the time before, there was an attack on the Syrian-Lebanese borders on what Israel claimed to be trucks carrying ammunition coming from Syria. So within these 60 days, Israel is starting and actually breaching the agreement, and it's probably there's probably some agreement between Israel and the US that Israel will be targeting certain points without going back to the committee that has been formed, headed by an American general to be in the international forces in Lebanon. If this kind of truce or this kind of it's a truce actually, and I believe the truce will sustain because Hezbollah will not be responding to the Israeli provocations or the Israeli breaches, because Hezbollah came to a point convinced that it has to stop firing just to stop the bloodshed of the people and the environment that is around it in the area, in order to save what's remnant of Lebanon after all the destruction that happened in Lebanon.
Sir, sorry for interrupting you, but taking into consideration the political aspect alongside the military instability, the preparedness of the Lebanese army remains a major issue. What role can Lebanon's government and army play in enforcing peace?
After the 60 days truce, the Lebanese army will go into the villages that is occupied by Israel because of the incursions by Israel. So the Lebanese army will go into this area, and at that time, within the 60 days, should be a full withdrawal from all south to the Litani River. When the Lebanese army is convinced and assured that there is no more presence, no more illegal presence of Hezbollah, the Lebanese army will be the only one in charge of peace and protecting the borders of that area. And this will be the responsibility of the Lebanese army after 60 days to defend these borders and to secure these borders. It would be the responsibility of protection and defending of Lebanon the Lebanese army. And this should be the case for all the Lebanese territories, not only to the south of Litani. So in the near future, it's supposed to be like this. According to the agreement reached and according to the paper agreed upon by the Americans and the Israelis and signed by the Lebanese cabinet, after this period, there will be a dismantling of the infrastructure of Hezbollah, starting from the south of Litani River to be including all the Lebanese territories. So at one point, there should be only one legitimate weapon in Lebanon, and the Lebanese state that has the control over the peace and war in this area, and the Lebanese army and the legitimate Lebanese forces would be the only one, according to the constitution and according to the Taif agreement, that it is one that is the security there. Qasim, the current Secretary General of Hezbollah, says it's going to be Hezbollah will be committed to a Taif agreement. The Taif agreement actually says that it should be only in the hands of the government.
Sir, sorry for interrupting you, but speaking of Hezbollah, which accuses Israel of attacking those that try to return to the border villages in southern Lebanon, how do you assess Hezbollah's potential response to Israel's repeated violations of the ceasefire agreement?
Hezbollah would not be responding to the Israeli breaches because it's clear now that in the area occupied by the Israeli army now, it's not reasonable that the Lebanese inhabitants will go back to this area because they are hostile troops, Israeli troops. So the Lebanese people will not go there to be arrested or to be taken hostage. So it's an occupied area. So the inhabitants should not be returning to this area. The Israeli enemy is considering who tries to enter into this area as a suspect element. And on the first night of the Israel killed 6 citizens who wanted to go back during the night to their homes. So this area is an occupied area, and people should not be back to it.
Sir, regarding Israel's recent airstrike on the Lebanese-Syrian border you've mentioned, is that an Israeli attempt to expand the range of the war and the conflict?
It's not the first time that Israel does this. The first time that the Israeli army does that. Since the beginning of the Israeli war in Lebanon, or after the major incident, and so even before the Aqsa flood, the Israeli planes were attacking certain points in Syria that are centers for the Iranian militias and Hezbollah.
Yes, sir, I'm asking about the timing of this targeting, the timing that it agreement, a direct way to expand the range of war.
It is not an attempt to expand the war because the war was not expanded with Syria. Syria is committed that there will be no war territory against Israel. And Syria is trying to stop any kinds of supplies of weapons and ammunition to Lebanon. And here we need to distinguish between the agreement that is including the Lebanese territories, but the agreement did not include Syrian territories. So Israel, as before, still capable of doing whatever it wants on the Syrian territories, not seeing this as a breach to the agreement with Lebanon, because the agreement has been with Lebanon, with the Lebanese cabinet, but there is no agreement with Syria. So Israel will continue attacking the Iranian militias in Syria.